lot of bloopers in that video. A lot.
I hope that she takes the funny / pervy strategy on hers, because there's a couple people in the comments that are like, beautiful barefoot paraplegic woman, nice, and it's like, oh,
what
God,
percentage of the viewers of that video are going to be pervs?
a decent amount, man. Like, listen, Devos love women more than
Have
they
we
love
talked
men.
about Devos on the podcast that much?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I
So
wonder
a
if there's
Devo-
any Devos listening. What up? If you
I don't
are,
know. So a Devo, a Devo means a devotee, which means you are devoted to disabled people, or you want to care for. You devote your life, and it becomes also like a sexual thing too. Like
it's kind of like a fetish, sort of.
Yeah, so looking at like atrophied feet, or like spasming legs, or like watching someone struggle to like get off the floor, or like get into their wheelchair, or like there's a certain enjoyment to like the the ragdollness, like the weakness, like the
I think it's kind of like it's the idea of like almost kind of like sub and dom sort of situation, where it's like obviously this person that's weaker or whatever, you're looking at them as the sub or whatever.
There's a million reasons why you would be attracted to a person with a disability, and usually it comes from your childhood. So when between the ages of when you're born to like 10, if you have any type of interaction with a person with a disability that makes you feel really good on the inside, you then grow an attraction to them. Like, I heard of a guy who was really into like single leg amputees. He's like, I don't want a double leg amputee, I want a single leg amputee. And it was because when he was growing up, he was like swimming at his pools at his apartment, and some lady like needed help, getting from the pool side to her lounge chair on one leg. So he like helped her, and then ever since then he was like, oh wow, I feel important. Like, someone needs my help. Like, I am attracted to someone who doesn't have a leg.
Yeah,
so
because I felt important or whatever.
Yeah, so there's a million reasons why Devos are Devos, but I'm fine with people that are Devos. It doesn't bother me. It's the inappropriate people that bother me. The people that are really predatory, that pretend to be disabled themselves, or they pretend to be like a student working on a project, or there's a lot of like manipulation to try to get videos of transferring.
Didn't you have that happen where there's someone that was like pretending to be doing a project or something, like, I need pictures of your feet, or like something like that.
So
I need pictures of your underwear, like weird
if anyone asks for pictures or videos of you doing like transfers, or like putting on clothes, or like your leg spasming, or like pictures of your wheelchair or your legs, like they want that for nefarious reasons. Like, no person who's like trying to learn like the spinal cord injury life is gonna be like, hey, can you send me videos of you transferring over WhatsApp? Can you also send me audio messages of you describing your spasms for me? Can you also? I'm like, no.
Yeah,
like,
when you say nefarious though, it's not like they're like doing anything that's like ruining you necessarily, unless they're like uploading it without your permission to like Pornhub or something.
And I know a lot of girls that are in wheelchairs that are on Pornhub right now.
Yeah, well, and that's a thing that I actually did want to touch on, because I think it's kind of interesting. But you said nefarious purposes, like, some are more nefarious than others, for sure.
Yeah,
because it's like if you're just like
for sexual
getting
purposes.
these pictures and like, for sexual purposes, without you knowing or whatever.
Without,
it's like,
and
because at the end of the day,
thing.
if you're just like jacking off to pictures of people that they've posted publicly or sent you willingly, there's not really necessarily like anyone getting quote unquote hurt by that. But at the end of the day, it's still fucking weird.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, no one really like messes with me too much, because to them I'm not disabled enough.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
you don't have the whole ragdoll thing going on.
Yeah, I don't have like like my legs are atrophied, but they don't like they're not as atrophied. They don't spasm. I'm kind of like big and strong and independent. Like Devos mostly go after women, or so it's like straight men usually go after like girl disabled people, like women in wheelchairs, and then
or amputees or whatever,
and like gay dudes also go after that group of people, and both of those are pretty predatory. However, I have had a few friends that have said they've dated girl devos and that they were super normal. Like they were just regular chicks that like happened to work in like healthcare in some way, shape, or form, and that have grown an affinity towards like disabled people. Like I'll name a. I mean,
there's a lot of reasons why you'd want to be in a relationship with a disabled person. Like, there's plenty of reasons why. It's not anything wrong or weird. It's just the like creepiness factor that ends up being weird for most people.
It's the consent that's the big deal. It's and then there's just like always the inappropriate questions and like, oh man, like
there's also a fine line between like a fetish and like just being into that. It's like you could be like really into black guys or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're like only into black guys because of some weird like fucked up thing in your brain about it, like it's like creepy in a way, and you're not viewing them as like a person but as like an object, like you're viewing, or a lot of times this happens with like Asian people, like guys have this like Asian quote unquote fetish. There's nothing wrong with like dating an Asian person or whatever, but it's like when you have this strange fantasy or like whatever obsession with them, then it gets creepy.
Yeah, a fantasy of like subservience versus like the whole, just like, a type.
Yeah, like you're wanting to like fulfill some like schoolgirl fantasy or some shit.
I have a way of putting it. So it's like, people that, I don't know what to call them in a correct way, but the people that like watch anime a lot.
Yeah,
like want to get immersed into that world of like Japanese and Korean life, and they feel like they need to, if they want to immerse themselves more into that, they have to date someone who's Korean or Asian.
What is that called?
I think it's called like a weeaboo.
Yeah, right? a weeaboo.
That's what it's called.
Or a weeb.
Yeah,
a weeb.
I think that's kind of like that. Yeah, like
a weeb. Yeah, a total weeb. It's like a white guy that like loves like anime and like.
But did you know the opposite? Culture. Like stereotype exists. Like there's women, there's Asian women that want like an overweight kind of slobby white American guy to take care of. They're like, oh, I want him to sit at home and play video games, and I want to feed him, and I want to like. I mean, dude, I want to take care of his house for him, and like.
Exists. Like it's like Rule 34. If you can imagine it, there is porn of it. Like if you can think of it, I'm sure it's freaking happened. Like there's all kinds of weird things out there, and you could even look at people like Squirmy and Grubs. Like they have a very quote unquote weird relationship. Like they're
it's only weird from that. It's only weird from the outside.
Exactly.
Like, from inside of their relationship, it's very normal.
It's very normal.
I don't think she's a devo in any way, shape, or form. I think she's just a sweet, kind-hearted woman, and I think Shane is also like a very cool, smart guy. Like I respect both of them a lot.
Yeah,
like, they're great
it wasn't
people.
like she was out here looking for guys that were like atrophied and shit. They met and like whatever.
Yeah. I'll tell a quick funny story, and then we can move on if we want to. But I know a guy who said he went on a date with a girl who was a devo, but didn't know she was a devo until he was at dinner, and his legs started spasming, and she goes, "We got to get out of here. I got to get on those things." Like she wanted to like, as soon as his legs started like tapping and like spasming and like kicking, she was like, "Let's go home. Let's go home right now. I need to play with those. Like let's go." Like, and he was like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "No, I promise. We got to leave. Let's go right now. Let's go right now." And he's like, "Okay." Like he was so down, and basically without
what did she
want
to do with him? Fucking
she wanted
sit
to
on him?
She wanted to straddle them. Yeah.
Oh my god, a human vibrator, I guess.
Something, I don't know, but yeah, he was. I was screaming because I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me right now! You're in the middle of dinner and your legs start dancing," and she's like, "We gotta go. We gotta go."
It's like those like remote controlled panties or whatever that you can get. They're like,
Jesus.
It's like, dude, we gotta get out of here. I'm freaking out. Like, geez, that's funny. That is really funny. But yeah, I was gonna say the interesting, funny, not funny, but like. The other weird thing that you were talking about, you were like, yeah, we know a lot of people that are on like Pornhub and stuff. Like we found out recently there was a clip of one of our videos that got clipped and it's on Pornhub.
Yep.
Like
sure did.
Yeah, it's just very weird, that whole world.
I mean, I literally know so many girls that I'm homies with, like wheelchair
like
users that I'm
homies transferring on Pornhub
that have videos that they found. And the thing that's creepy is like you can't like request to take it down unless you like prove it's your body and prove that it's your intellectual property, and then you have to give your like name and your like address and like phone number, and then the person that you're filing the claim against also gets that information.
Well, it's also hard too because it's typically these are public videos that are just being re-uploaded and re-tagged as like sexual and stuff. Because it's like, if for example, I know on like OnlyFans, because your content is being paid for, you're able to issue DMCA takedowns because you were selling that content as premium content that you created and made and were charging for. But if you're just uploading a video to YouTube that, you know, you're putting out there to the public, it's kind of weird because it's like, you know, I get that they could be making money off of you on Pornhub and stuff like that, but you have to do a lot of different things with that. But the main thing is just the creepiness factor. Most people will just want it taken down just because they want it taken down. They don't want it on that site. They don't want it affiliated with all this weird shit. But it is kind of weird because it's like, yes, I'm putting this information and these videos out for the general public to consume if they want to, but I don't want them to consume it in this context in this way because it has a sexual connotation, and I know that what people are coming to this website for it are different than what they're coming to my normal page for it. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Yeah. And I don't know. I think that stuff's only going to get worse as time goes on. I don't think that any of this is going to like go away.
This is what I think how you end up as a Devo, and this is just my current theory on it. So the more porn you consume, the more forbidden stuff you start to like creepier and weirder and extremer and more forbidden stuff. But
I think just push the limits.
You just keep pushing the limits and pushing the limits and pushing the limits. And I think what is like something that's really rare, that's hard to obtain, that's a gem, that's unique, that's different, disabled people. You know, it's like you could even find like dwarves, for example, or little people. You know, you can even find like amputees, like, but like no, I don't think people.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right.
Most normal people are not willing to go to like children, right? Like I think that's like a major line a lot of people cross. Like I'm never gonna get freaky and creepy enough to get like children involved. Like that's a crime. Like that's disgusting. Like what type of human being would ever want to do that? Because then you're now like you are also personally responsible for all of those children.
Yeah.
But it's like when it comes to like finding the creepiest, weirdest stuff, it's like you. Like
if you don't go that way, you could go this way. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
There's a bunch of different places you end, and I think this is literally just this is Richard's theory. I don't know if I have any proof. I'm just literally thinking, but I think like when it comes to consuming pornography, it's got to be more extreme and more extreme and more extreme and more extreme.
And I think there's a level of curiosity to it too, because
absolutely.
I mean, like if you're out in public, like for example, I've definitely had this thought. You go out in public, you see like a really, for example, obese person. You're like, ew, but also like that'd be kind of I'm interested to see what they'd look like naked, potentially. You know what I mean? Like just to know. Like, what
you're gonna get some weird comments about that, bro. You're gonna.
I'm just a curious person. I'm not even. You know what I mean? Like, I'll look up anything. Like, you know, and I'm sure that people have like they see like a wheelchair user in public, and then they're like, wonder what that looks like. You know what I mean? And then they look it up, and then they are able to find it. Like
facts.
Same thing with a little person, or same thing with an albino person. Like, oh, I wonder what an albino guy's dick looks like. Is it the same color as his skin? You know, like Jesus. I don't know. So I'm gonna look it up. You know, because the internet allows us to look up anything. Like, you know, 50 years ago, you wouldn't be able to know unless you really were in bed with that person or whatever. You know, so it's just kind of like. I think the internet has just opened up so many things, and some people can just be curious and just like literally are just. They just want to know. And I think that's kind of the same thing with like OnlyFans right now. It's like average normal girls are making full-time incomes on OnlyFans, selling pictures of themselves slightly more naked than they are on their Instagram, probably just because a lot of their followers are strictly just curious as to, they're like, I know this girl, I like her. I'd pay a couple bucks a month to see what she looks like with her clothes off, you know? And if you're cool with that and it's not hurting anyone, then fine. But like, it is just kind of this weird place that we're at with the internet and the world. So
yeah, I think also when it comes to attraction can mean a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. And I've heard someone explain to me that one of the reasons why they were attracted to people with disabilities is because that we have such like a strong, determinate will. Like we usually don't let things get in our way, and that we're like really consistent and like strong. You know, like we keep pushing forward, and we're hard workers, and like they're like, I don't care that you have a disability or not, but what I am interested in is that this incredible drive you have.
These character
traits, exactly. It's like you just happen to be disabled, and it just happens to be that a lot of people with disabilities have these character traits. So that's what
very valid. That's what I was thinking about earlier.
You know, like that's what I'm more interested in, is these character traits that you have versus, you know, anything creepy. Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you'd like to see the full episode, click right here. If you'd like to subscribe, click here. If you'd like more clips, we got 2 more right over here.